Hey there, what is poppin', my friends? My name is Rabbit, and welcome to episode 140 of our bonus exploration of the post-game content here within Jade Cocoon 2. In our last episode, we just continued making our way through the Fire Forest. We specifically focused primarily on the level 3, known as Fire Walking, and we're prepped and ready to go into island number 4 of Fire Walking itself. So we've had a couple of cutscenes, which they've made me feel as though it's somewhat valuable to have you guys with me while we're doing all of this backtracking and all of this somewhat tedious dungeon crawling. So hopefully the stories and the things that I have to share will make this somewhat more bearable. We'll see how it goes. The cutscenes have kind of been pottering off, and we haven't had as many as we were in the beginning when we were in the level 1 Fire Forest. So let's just continue and see what the frequency looks like. If we don't run into very many, then maybe I'll just cut you guys a break and not have you come alongside me for this. So as for things that I was sharing with you all, in our last video I was talking primarily about things with my dad and just everything that's kind of been going on in my life revolving around his passing at the beginning of August. But I told you guys that I was going to share some happier, more positive things with you that are a little less somber, a little less depressing. And this thing had better not kill anybody. Okay. Had to raise my voice just in case. I feel like sometimes, you've got to increase your volume in order to make people a little afraid of you. Actually, I don't really believe that, but I'm just going to say it for these beasts. Maybe it'll ward away the bad choices and that bad luck. And it looks like it kind of worked this time. I'm not going to put all my eggs in that basket. However, so I told you guys I did have some positive things that have gone down since my dad passed away. Primarily that we ended up receiving his 2 budgies, and oh my god, please don't come and fuck with me, bro. You know you're gonna die. We ended up getting his 2 budgies, and because we loved them so much, it led to us eventually adopting 5 other budgies, and then we ended up rescuing 3 guinea pigs. So our household went from 0 pets to 10 pets over the course of, I think we got all of these guys. It couldn't have been more than 3 weeks that all of that kind of happened. So yeah, isn't that a little nuts? I mean, not that it's, that much more difficult, 2 budgies versus 7. Is it a big deal? Not really.
What's up? You look pretty happy. You came at just the right time. What's this all of a sudden? What's this? You're gonna be surprised. Super awesome formation. I want to test it quick. I get it. That's it. It's just like you. Okay, let's have a match. Excellent, Kahu. That's the spirit. Let's go.
Bro, we literally just fought. Is he serious? Guys, we just did this. Oh no, and I don't have a lot of... Okay, that's fine. You know what? We are prepped. We are fine. I'm just going to rotate through my ring. I don't even know. I didn't really study his team that thoroughly last time, but does he have the same lineup as he did before? I don't know. Maybe you guys can tell me, or, I could not be lazy, and when I'm rewatching the footage, I can kind of keep that in my mind for commenting purposes, but whatever. Not a big deal. He's down 1 more Divine Beast than we have, so I think at the end of the day, we're pretty much set. So I'm going to rotate counterclockwise, just to give my fire side a bit of time to get their mana back up. I don't know, they're not looking good with where they're at, but I think we're in the position to where other sides are fine, so it should be able to safely buy us time, but no! Oh! And as I'm saying that, then I lose someone. Not cool, you douchebags. Not cool at all. It's fine. It's fine. We're not going to worry about it. So, as for the little critters now in the Rabbit and Andrew household, you guys, we are so in love with these budgies. And I'm used to birds. My dad has always liked them. And I wouldn't say I just grew up with them. It's not like I raised a whole flock at any point in my childhood, but we've often had 1 or 2 parrots or parrotlets. So having a bunch of budgies suddenly, I mean, it's not anything that I didn't kind of know what we were getting ourselves into, or I had to do a bunch of reading and studying to prep for their arrival into our home. Now, the thing that has been kind of interesting is having guinea pigs. I've always liked rodents, but I've just never had any as pets.
You got some good divine beasts.
Of course I do. Nam, you literally just saw my squad earlier, so I don't know why you're acting all impressed, but if it whoops your ass and puts you in your place, I'm always down for a good battle. You better believe it. We are not going to back down. Kill him! Oh, he lived! What is this? Major hacks. You know, we might even be able to just chill on this side for a little bit. I can't believe I lost a teammate. How much bullshit is that, you guys? It's a little lame.
Not bad.
I know. Bow before me, Nam. Let's see. I want to get this douchebag back. Please don't kill me. Please don't fuck me up. Please don't fuck me up. And then I'm probably going back to my fireside. Or actually going to the fireside itself. Oh, God. No, not this petrification crap. Looks like she's good. Looks like she's good. She's good. Perfect, perfect. I think that's Prissy Pants. I don't remember. You guys already know I have no idea what I was thinking of doing when I had set up this team. It was something that I had kind of thrown together months ago when we had left off doing our previous set of the bonus stuff. Oh, yes. Go for the center.
I'm not giving up.
Wow, he cursed. Nam, watch your language. I think we can go ahead and just finish it up on this side, even though oh, well, never mind. Maybe that was a bad choice. Come on. Riggedy Ret. I actually don't mind if he gets his crap off because I think, well, maybe I should mind. It's instant petrification. You've got to be joking. What is this? I didn't want to have to do it this way, Nam, but you're leaving me no choice. What? Why? Why would you do it this way? Fine, whatever. We'll max out HP, so I'm good to go in upcoming fights. Whew, this is why I'm loving audio, you guys. It makes the difference.
Please, finish me in one punch.
I'm working on it. Stop fighting back, bro. And then we'll definitely see to it that you are dealt a swift and painless death. Actually, it hasn't been swift nor painless, but whatever. That should be a wrap for Nam. He doesn't really have too much more that he could do.
Ow! I did not train enough.
I mean, it was in the previous forest. I'm not expecting you to get your shit together that quickly. I mean, I am Kahu, but even I couldn't do that.
I thought it was pretty good, but I guess I gotta tweak it a bit.
He might even be saying the same thing. I don't know, maybe that's just a way to help you get a lot of XP if you are wanting to backtrack through previous forests. I'm not sure the value in having us have these almost pretty much back-to-back fights with him.
Kahu, you really helped me out. Now I know how to improve.
Well, that's what you said last time, and this really wasn't that much more of a challenge, but okay, that is fine with me. So as I was sharing with you guys before, I was actually caught a little bit off guard by us having to suddenly fight Nam. So we have a bunch of birds, Budgie specifically, which I wouldn't say has been, oh my god, I'm so sick of finding these eggs. I'm not even in the position to do any merging, so we're not going to worry about picking them up. I'm thinking about it. I'm sure some of you are going to be thinking, no, get these eggs. You can make the true beasts that you want. But I have so many eggs in excess, you all. I don't think it's necessary for me to be picking up every single freaking egg that I stumble upon. So, okay, I need to focus. Fire tower, here we are. The birds have been incredible. My dad, the two that he had, there's a blue one named Disco who is just so funny, you guys. Andrew and I kind of call him the king because whenever we've introduced newer ones to the flock, he'll actually kind of introduce himself in a weird way. Like, okay, so for example, The second two that we had purchased were named Mara and Io. And when we got them, they're just little babies. They're not as old as Disco and Fee. Disco is 4 years old, and Fee, the yellow one, I think she's 3. She's about a year younger than Disco. Nevertheless, we got budgies that were about, I think they were like 5 months old. So much younger for sure than Disco and Fee. So we introduced them. Their names are Mara and Io. And they were kind of huddling at the bottom of the cage, which I gotta tell you guys, we got this humongous cage. It is 4 feet tall, so it is just a little bit shorter than me. It is huge. I think it's supposed to be a flight cage or just a cage maybe for one like conure. I'm not sure. I don't remember what it was technically marketed for, but I wanted to get them a big cage so they had room to fly about, especially because we knew we were going to be getting more of them. So anyway, with this humongous 4-foot cage, and a lot of breeders tend to clip their budgies' wings, which, not judging anyone if that's what you're all about, but personally, Andrew and I are not for it, and we noticed that my dad hadn't been clipping Disco and Fee's wings, so we're certainly not going to be keeping that up. So once feathers kind of grow out or regrow and our budgies can fly, we're going to leave them to that and not try to do anything to hamper that ability that they're kind of working on. I'm going to actually pick this up and use it. I think these are arguably the only thing really of value for me to grab at this point. Actually, we could start picking up items since we are in the level 4 area. I don't know how many of them are going to be stellar, but we should find something. And before I get too sidetracked telling you random details about Disco and Fee that don't really matter, I want to see in the contract, what are we looking for? Hellfire book. I think we'll find one in the level 4 area. Don't hold me to that. But if ever it was going to pop up somewhere, this should be it. Unless it was in one of the previous. Oh, God. Hellfire book might be underneath Inferno book. So maybe I suck and I fucked it up. And we're not actually going to find this book. I don't know. Maybe I should have been picking them up. I didn't even think about it, you guys. And if you cancel jobs, you lose reputation. But I think at the end of the day, it's not going to be too problematic if we have to do that. You know what, whatever. I'm not going to sweat it. So you guys, Andrew and I view Disco as kind of being king because whenever we've introduced new birds to the flock of 2, since it was just the 2 of them for years and years, he will go out of his way to hop to the bottom of the cage just to kind of like chirp at them and make them feel a little bit more comfortable. We noticed when we got Mara and Io, they were huddling at the bottom of this giant 4-foot flight cage, which I'm sure is totally different from what they had been experiencing when they were at the breeders and then at the store that we had picked them up from. So they were just kind of chilling, and Disco went, and I don't know, it just seemed like he was purposefully encouraging them to come up. So they climbed up the side of the cage, and then all has been history from there. He's just, I don't know. I really love Disco a lot. I think Andrew and I both find him to be our favorite. He has the most personality, and he's just goofy and silly, and I wouldn't say he's fully tame. You could tell that my dad had them for companionship, but not to spend a lot of one-on-one time with them. I think he mostly liked having them so he could sing to them and talk to them and maybe let them out of the cage to fly around, but they're not really the type of budgies that'll just sit on your head, for example, or follow you into the bathroom. We're hoping to get them to that point, but they're not quite there yet. So anyway, Disco is just the funniest budgie. He likes to sing, and he talks and talks from the moment he wakes up until it's time for him to go to bed, which can be good or bad. He certainly lets you know how he's feeling, and hours, you guys, this bird will just be singing. Oh my gosh. But I don't know, there's just something so welcoming and comforting about it to wake up. And we usually keep them in the office, but sometimes we'll roll them out into the living room. Just depends on where we're primarily hanging out. But as soon as we take off the blanket that we put on them at night to help them sleep a little bit better, they're just immediately chirping, with Disco kind of leading the choir. I don't know. It's just so nice to have them. I really love Disco a lot. And then I'll tell you definitely more about them as individuals, but I guess I should get through who they all are. So Disco is our blue budgie that we got from our dad. Fee is a quiet yellow budgie. She doesn't say too much. And Andrew and I partially think it's because King Disco is always in her face. He's just so charismatic and loves to sing and chatter and talk. And I'm aware that the males tend to be more gregarious than the females anyway. But I think he's gotten on her nerves over the years and has worn away a little bit at her nerves. Because I recall when she was younger, she was a bit more chirpy than she is now. And I can tell that they are bonded to each other and they really love each other. But it's also quite evident that he annoys her immensely, which is kind of funny. And Andrew and I joke about how, oh my gosh, Disco and Fee, kind of like us, kind of like an old married couple, but I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm so glad we were able to receive both of them and that my dad left them both to us. So those were the two originals, and I told you guys we had met a girl that worked at a store that said she had a couple of budgies that weren't really getting adopted as quickly as others, and she didn't really disclose too much about it. And I'd rather rescue than buy from a store, which is what we ended up doing with the guinea pigs that I'll probably talk to you guys about in our upcoming episode, just so that I don't make this one too long. But, we were like, okay, fine, we'll check out the store because we want a place that we can kind of use as a home base for purchasing bird products anyway. So we went there, met up with the girl. She was like, oh, I can also give you a discount. And we saw the two budgies. One was the one we named Io. She's an albino, so she's all white and then has these bright red eyes. And I wonder if that's part of the reason why no one had adopted her. Like I said, she and her sister, they're about 6 months, I think, 5 or 6 months. And I guess other ones are usually adopted like within the first 2 weeks of being brought to the store. But Mara and Io had been there for over a month. She said it was touching on 6 weeks, so they weren't really sure what the deal was, and they were healthy and looked fine. Like when we got there, I asked if I could hold them and like look at their eyes, kind of look at their tails and observe them for a little bit to make sure that they were actually playing and engaging one another or engaging other budgies in activities, because you don't want to bring home a sick budgie. And it just sounded a little suspicious when this girl was telling me that, oh gosh, there's just two and they're sisters. So I didn't know if they were diseased, but they didn't look diseased to me. So I can't help but wonder if, because Io is albino, people, from things I've even seen online, question whether albino budgies are blind. So I wonder if that's what people were suspicious about, and that's why she was left behind. And as for Mara, I know she's been at the store for a while because she was the only one whose wings weren't fully clipped. Like, she can fly. She flies as well as Disco and Fee. And like I said, Disco and Fee are 3 and 4 years old, and Io's not even a year old. So I think Mara might even possibly be I wouldn't say she's older, because I know they came from the same clutch. I'm not sure how the laying and hatching works. Like, I don't know if female budgies lay all the eggs in one sitting or if it happens over the course of a few weeks. I have no idea. I'm not a breeder, so don't ask me. I really couldn't tell you guys. But either way, whether she's older or it was just an oversight on someone's behalf, I have no idea what the situation with that is. Oh, guys, I'm broke. I can't sign up for this anyway. I have no money. None whatsoever. So anyway, whether or not Mara's a few weeks older than Io, or, oh, thank God, or if there's just a possibility that she was overlooked and her wings were never clipped, I'm not sure what the situation is, but that could have, I'm guessing, been why no one wanted Mara, because even though she was young, she had full wings and could fly. And it seems like, I don't know. I don't understand, but Mara is white and blue, and she has a couple little black speckles on her. She's very cute and just super sweet and also kind of docile, but a troublemaker. She loves nibbling on tails and oh my gosh, she's a stinker. Aya's a little bit more emo, Andrew and I think, where she likes to be by herself, and she's not super friendly to us or to the other budgies in the cage. She doesn't even, I mean, you can tell that she loves Mara and she'll deal with Mara, but the two of them don't even interact that much. But guess who she tolerates and seems to like? Disco. And I'm not sure if it's because Disco, was that kind king and greeted them so warmly when they first arrived and was able to coax them to climb to the top of this giant cage, and he chirped them on and encouraged them along the path. I don't know what it is, but Disco is definitely the one that she's bonded to the most. He'll often feed her, which is kind of weird and gross. And we noticed that Fee will feed Mara. So I think the two of them really love Mara and Aya, which is what we wanted. And then we got 3 other ones. One is named Ozymandias, who was another budgie that apparently this girl that we had known who worked at the store said he had been returned twice. And they didn't know what to do with him. He also had his wings, they weren't clipped. So I don't know. And he did, though, look a little bit sicker. And so I was asking her, if I take him home, I won't bring him back. But if he dies, I would like a refund. Or if we could do some sort of arrangement. Because it's a risk. This budgie's been returned twice. And you're telling me that, you want me to buy him because I'll try to give him a good home and I'll take care of him because no one else wants him. I think also his coloring is a little off. I don't know. He's not super adorable like the other ones. I personally think he's a little ugly, but that's part of his charm. Either way, Andrew named him Ozymandias. He's kind of like a muddy gray, blue, and white combination. He doesn't have a distinct pattern like the other budgies do, but, he's fine. I enjoy his company. He chirps, not as much as Disco, but he's pretty chattery. Then the last 2 were more siblings. We got them at the same time as we got Ozymandias. She had told us about him, and when we went to pick him up, I saw these other 2 siblings. One, she's almost Lutino, so she's almost pure yellow, but it's really weird. Her head is yellow, but her body is a pale yellow-green, but she has no markings, no black, no white, nothing. Just a weird delineation at her neck that separates the color of her head from the color of her body. That one my sister named for us. Bear called her Kiwi, and then Kiwi's brother is just the standard green budgie that you'd find in the wild. And because Andrew's such a biologist, he named it Wild Type. So those are our 7 budgies. I will not have this be like a 25-minute video of me talking about all of our birds, but I certainly have a couple quirky stories to share with you all. But I'll talk to you guys about the guinea pigs that we actually rescued en route to the Humane Society in our upcoming episode. Sorry that we really only had one cutscene. We're almost at the end of exploring the fire area, and I think I dropped the ball and we're not going to find a Hellfire book, and I don't want to backtrack and find this stupid item, but I might just do it. Oh, that really sucks, you guys. We're going to have 4 episodes where we're not even ready to head into the level 5 Fire Forest, which is kind of what we are here to explore. So I'll see what ends up happening. I don't know if I should just go through this really is the last forest here, because the last island here, because the final island is where we would have fought someone for the orb, and there are no more orbs, so you just have to teleport out of them. So I don't know, I guess we'll go through the final island together. Maybe then I'll just cut the video and see if I can find the Hellfire book. I don't know. We will see. I apologize for forgetting all about it. I was so caught up in talking to you guys about what's been going on with me that I haven't even been thinking to pick up books. It just completely spaced me. So in our upcoming episode, we will finish going through the level 4 Fire Forest. We might backtrack through the level 3 to see if I can find a Hellfire book. And we will hopefully by the end, if not the middle of our next episode, be prepped to go into the level 5 Fire Forest, because that's why you're all here. So anyway, we'll also chit chat about the guinea babies or the guinea pigs. So I hope you're looking forward to it. Hope you guys are all doing well. My name is Rabbit, and this is my bonus exploration of the post-game content for Jade Cocoon 2. I'll see you in episode 141.